Hi, and welcome to Talkin' Horses. On this show, we'll be discussing many horse topics: herd dynamics, riding, grooming, groundwork, body language, and most importantly, safety. You can be sure that if it has to do with horses, we'll be talking about it. Our focus will be on natural horsemanship, the language and communication that's natural for the horse. We're going to have loads of fun playing with and developing a great relationship with one of the most magnificent creatures on the face of the earth, the horse. Hi everyone, and welcome to Talkin' Horses. I'm Eileen Shanahan, and today we are coming to you from Islip Terrace on Long Island, New York, and joining us today is Natural Horseman Tony Simonetti. Tony, we finally got you on the show. How are you?
Good, very good, Eileen, thank you.
Yeah, well, thank you for joining us. But let's first start out. Tell us a little bit about you and your background, how you got into horses.
Okay, well, I mean, if you really want to go deep, we go way back to when I was a kid. We have relatives in Alabama who had herds of horses that they just would turn out, and as kids we would go out and they'd just let us go chase them around and do whatever we could do with them. Then got away from it completely until about 13 years ago when I got back in the game with horses, had my own horse at the time, and I just needed help in obtaining the information to take things safely to where they had to be. Went out west, studied with and studied the information of the best natural horsemen in the world.
Well, how'd you find out about natural horsemen? Where, or did you just coincidentally?
Funny story. I'll give credit where credit's due. A guy came to me, a friend of mine then came to me because I had an injury. Something took place where I got kicked and I got an injury, and he basically told me, why don't you learn the depth of what horses are all about, and then come around these horses and start to train them and try to do what you're trying to do. And after being angry about that for 2 or 3 days, because the ego takes over, which is a fact, okay, ego blocks knowledge. So what happened was, my instinct was, yeah, who are you to tell me what I don't know, and this and that. But after 3 days of nursing an injury, I realized he was right. So I sought after the best of the best, and was able to obtain the information from them because I made friends with some of them, and I'm really grateful for that, you know.
Now you brought it all back here to Long Island. Tell us what you're doing here on Long Island. You started a group. Tell us all about it, the name of it and everything.
Okay. I think it was in 2000. I started to obtain a student base, and I found that having the students work together and help each other really moved things along for them, because they actually could interact with each other about what they're doing right and wrong and so on. So we developed the New York Natural Equestrians. The group has grown, and the energy, the positive energy, because the entire premise that we had was everyone helping everyone become great with horses. That's what's brought us to where we're at today, and you know, things just kind of snowballed. We built an equestrian campground upstate New York for us to bring a large group so that we can play and study and do what we do.
Well, it definitely seems like a great group. I've just slowly am starting to learn about them and everything, and it does seem great, and everybody is so positive, which is pretty awesome.
Yep.
So, and nobody's afraid to talk about things. So many people are afraid to talk about their mistakes or talk about their fear or anything like that, but everybody's so open, and it is one of the great things about the group.
Well, because I had to hang my ego up 13 years ago when I needed help, I make one of the biggest things that everyone has to do is hang their ego at the door. Because if you just leave your ego there, then you can openly speak about where you're at and interact with others and get the information and open your brain and your mind to expand. And everybody has something to offer to each other, you know, and I could learn from anyone also. Still to date, I get things from students and people that are out there on a regular basis.
Tony, spring is here. Everyone's psyched. We had a long, cold winter here on Long Island, unusually cold. Unless you had an indoor, you probably weren't doing too much riding. So, but the weather's beautiful, but humans are out of shape, horses are out of shape. Give us sort of a spring training type lesson here.
Okay.
As this guy yawns away, he's bored.
He's bored with us. But okay, yeah, Eileen, here's one of the things that my teachers, what they burned into our brain was that you never assume that you have today what you had yesterday. So what we do is we want to make sure that when the new season breaks, we do the necessary pre-season tune-up, if you want to put it that way, so that we are doing things safely. That's what it's all about, is making sure that we're safe. They also instilled in us that a lot of the injuries take place when people get back in the saddle after a long, cold winter. Because everyone, if you think about it, cabin fever sets in. Everybody wants to get out of the house and do something with their horses. Hey, you want to go riding? Come on, let's all go riding. Everybody sets a plan, but then when they get to the barn, the plan doesn't go exactly as they thought. And instead of bypassing the ride to get their horses right, once again, as a straight line thinker, predators think like, I just want to go riding, and they'll put the saddle on, they'll put themselves in that type of situation,
sure.
And that's when it usually goes bad.
Yeah, so, well, you have some things that you can show us, how to get your horse, the tune-up, as you say.
Absolutely.
So why don't
yes.
we take a look at it?
Sure, that's what today's all about.